Okay, welcome to part 2 of my weaving project. So I really like this idea. This is a really simple, basic idea. Taking, obviously you've got the warp and the weft. The weft is the bit you put through the warp. And I stuck strips together to make it a little bit more varied. And produces all sorts of different patterns. You can see the other side looks quite dull compared to this top side, which has got all the different bits stuck on. So I like that idea. So I thought about extending it in a different way again, and I thought very carefully about how I was going to do these. There are different techniques that you can use. So for example with this one here, in fact I'm going to start taking it apart so you can see. This one is very simply made. It's just stuck on bits of leftovers and scraps that I stuck onto this piece of card here. Then there's another one here. This is another one which is also just stuck together. Quite simple. So that's sort of first level creations. And then here we have, starts to get a little bit more complicated because you can weave in different ways. This has got a strip with a layer in the middle, just like these, but it's done through this green piece which has been cut all the way along. And of course the more you do, the more complicated it can get. And with each one it becomes more and more interesting. So I think you can see there's lots and lots and lots of different scope on where you could take this to. So yeah, if you're doing Kente cloth, if you were making this for a tribal chief or for someone very important, you would make lots of these little strips and you'd sew them together. And actually in their own right they're quite beautiful like this. But I thought about making these in card and seeing how far it would go, and then turning it into my own weave. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how to make these now. Right, so the first one is just a layered one. So what I'm going to start off with is a piece of yellow card, got a piece of green card which I'm going to use underneath, and I'm going to split the card up. I could do it in a zigzag like I did here. I could do it in an S. I think I'll do it in a curve like this and make it a wavy pattern. Like so, and then that just gets stuck down on top like so. I could then add more strips to it if I like, again keeping in with the colours that I've got, which I'm using, which is red, green, yellow and black. So that's number one, simple. Same with this. I mean, this one here, all I've done with this one is I've taken I've cut out diamonds and then stuck them on the top, and again put a strip on the outside as well. So this is really easy and nice to do. It's almost like a collage version. All good there. The second version is this one, is to create a strip that you can go through and weave through. So for this and for all of the next ones, what I'm doing is I'm taking a piece of card or paper and I'm folding in half like so, all the way along. And then I'm cutting on the fold part. So the fold is where I'm cutting in from. And with this on, with a lot of them, this one I'm just going to cut simple slots about every centimetre, roughly. I'm not going to worry too much about it. And I'm being very careful not to go, I'm using my scissors very carefully because I don't want to cut all the way through and then basically lose this piece. There we go. Just get to the end of that. Right, so there is my piece. Can push it out and you can see I've got all the little gaps there in between. With this one, you might want to weave, say, 2 colours through it, or even 3. See if you get 3 through like that. With this one here, I stuck a piece down a bit like this. So I have 2 pieces of card there with a bit in the middle. And that's quite easy to sort of just feed through if your slots are big enough. But with this, obviously, you get your black and gold and red pattern. Excuse me, that's not quite big enough. Just make sure it's cut far enough, or that your strips are thin enough to get through. Yeah. So once you start feeding that through, it'll settle afterwards. You can always make it flatter when you're finished. and so forth. You can get the idea for that one. I mean, there are other ways of doing it as well. If you wanted to maybe do two opposites, this should fit nice and easily. So start this one on the top, go under, over, under, over. And then with the green one, I could use green, I could use yellow. I'll put the green one next to it and I'll do the green the opposite direction. So this will go under, and then over, then under, and over. And that is basically like doing a simple plain weave, I suppose. Just like the first ones that I showed you in the previous video. Of course, then finished off with the blue one on the top, and I get a really cool pattern with that. It's almost like a belt, actually. It's almost like a belt design, some sort of fashion belt. But there you get the idea. So that's another way. It's a nice, simple one. I mean, this is great, but I think, as you can see, it can be quite fiddly. So there are other ways as well. These ones have all been done by cutting holes out. In fact, I used the holes that I cut out of this to stick on here. So I used all my card, which I tried to be as economical as possible with it. These are done by just folding the card in half and cutting bits out along the fold. So you can cut those sort of things. You can cut triangles like this, and then weaving through those. There are many sort of different styles and layers that you could do, but I think it's just really good fun just to play with it, and also try interesting colours and try different ways of, or try as many different ways as you can. Have a bit of an experiment, have a bit of play. If you don't like it, you can take it apart, you can start again, you can try different thicknesses, you can try doing all sorts of things with this. You can try weaving it afterwards. You might not want to weave it, you might want to just keep them as strips. But it's using weaving, or using the principles of weaving, where you have the warp, you have the weft, the warp and the weft, and you are folding in and out and in and out different things, or different gaps, to make it all into different patterns. But yeah, so that's your secondary challenge for this week. I look forward to seeing what you come up with.